The Best in the World podcast with Richard Parr.
Hello, thanks for downloading The Best in the World with Richard Parr, episode 22, with former Judo world champion Guillaume Elmont. We go through a lot of things on today's podcast, talking about how Guillaume comes from a Judo family. His father competed for Suriname at the 1976 Olympics. His brother is also an Olympic competitor in the sport. He talks about what went wrong for him in the 2004 Olympics, the difficulties making weight and nutrition that is involved when he's competing and not competing. Talks about his pre-game visualization techniques. That's not one of the easiest words, is it? Visualization. And post-game recovery techniques. His work as a psychologist. Right now, he's also a performance coach at the football team Ajax Amsterdam with the youth players. So we get a fascinating insight from that. And he also talks about the power of positivity. If you know wrestling, that would be the New Day. The wrestling stable, they love their power of positivity. Well, let's learn from a world champion in Guillaume Elmont on the power of positivity. And we also talk a lot about sports psychology and performance in judo and why he's taken up salsa. You wouldn't really put the two together, would you? Judo and salsa, but apparently it works, and it works for Guillaume Elmont, who is the best in the world. That interview is coming up in just a moment, but I want to tell you that today's podcast is brought to you by audible.com. Get a free, yes, free, that means gratis, nothing, nada, audiobook download and 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/best. Over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. I'll tell you that link one more time. It's www.audibletrial.com/best. Obviously, the best means best in the world, and the best in the world is Guillaume Elmont, and that's next.
The Best in the World podcast with Richard Parr.
So Guillaume Elmont, welcome to The Best in the World with Richard Parr. You're a former world champion in judo, but you've always had judo around you, haven't you? You've come from a judo family, that's right?
Yes, for sure. My father, he's from Suriname. We live in Holland, but he went for Suriname to the Olympics in Montreal in 1976. And so, when we were little, we got very fast in touch with judo.
Were you born in Suriname and moved to the
No.
Netherlands?
I was born in Holland, and my brother too, but my parents moved just before to Holland.
Was judo always around you? Was there any pressure for you and your brother to get into the sport?
No, because my father, he was one of the he got now they call him now the greatest judo player of the 20th century from Suriname. So he had a lot of pressure when he was judoing from the country and everybody. So for us, he actually didn't want us to become judo players, because he was like, if they get good, then they get all the pressure, and he didn't really like it. So he didn't want us on judo, but we had to do a sport, and my mother, she put us on judo. So it was actually our mother that put us on judo and decided you guys need to do a sport, and let's see how this goes.
Well, this podcast is learning from the best in the world, and if you've got a dad who's been to the Olympic Games, that must be a fantastic person to always turn to when you need advice. Would you often pick his brain?
No, because my father was very modest, so he never spoke about that he was that good, and that he went to the Olympics, or that he was 10 times champion of Suriname, or was third on the Pan Am Championships. He never told it on when we were older. We heard it from other people. But suddenly people came and they had a an encyclopedia. I don't know how you call it, and with his
Encyclopedia,
name,
yeah.
yeah, encyclopedia with his name and with all his records. And we're like, hey, this guy was actually good. So we just learned when we were older that he was that good.
And who got into it first, you or your brother?
Both at the same time. Yeah, I had to. You could start judo from 4 years old, and I had to wait on my mom waited until my brother was 4 years, and I was 6, so we could go on together on judo. So at the same time we went on. Yeah. And since then it was always judo. She was like, if you want to do another sport, you can always change. But then we were already hooked on judo.
And was it good having a brother also do judo? Would you help yourselves compete higher and higher? Do you think that helped?
Yeah, for sure. Because we learned we have the same build as our father and the same techniques. And he was a very technical man, and he learned us the techniques and the tips and tricks with that. And me and my brother always trained with each other and always corrected each other on our techniques, and that helped us to get to become very good in judo.
I was listening to an interview with your brother, and he was saying there was this kind of strange thing where if one of you would get like an injury, like something on your elbow, a couple of days later, you would get the same. If he got one injury, you would get the same one a few days later. A bit like twins. Is that true? Is that weird?
Yeah, that's very weird. It's true. We had I think for a period of 10 years, because I think in the last 3 years it wasn't like that anymore. But before that, it was if he got an injury, then I got an injury. Maybe 1 or 2 weeks later, I got the same injury, same spot, and the same with me. If I got an injury, he got it a few days later. So that was very strange for us. And at first we were like, no, it's because because I told him he had an injury, so he knows, and then maybe probably he just moves like it, and then he gets it too. But at one point we stopped telling each other when we were injured, but it was the same because we heard it from the physio. No, your brother has the same injury, so you can come for the same reason. And that was very, very strange. But yeah, I don't know. We train every day together, and when we go out with the national team, we sleep together. We live 900 meters apart from each other here in Holland, so we saw each other day and night, and we're always busy with judo. And that was a strange thing, but also very nice, very nice.
And you've always been close, or have you ever had any rows or any fights, or have you always?
No,
both had a common
never.
goal?
But only when we were like when I was 7 years or 8 years old, we had. I was teasing my brother a lot, but like normal brothers do. But we always had a very close bond. So and it just became closer and closer between us.
And you obviously enjoyed judo from a young age, as you explained, but when did you realise that you'd be good, that you could go to Olympics, that you could one day be a world champion? Was there an age where you decided that this is something you want to take really, really seriously?
No, I started when I was 6, and I did my tournaments. And I always won, but I never thought about the Worlds or the Olympics. That came when I was almost a senior. Then I started thinking, okay, the Olympics is nice and the Worlds is nice to go to. And I was like, yeah, my father went to the Olympics, so I would like to go to the Olympics too. But for me, when I was first year senior, I was like, yeah, I want to become world champion, because in my eyes, in judo, World Championships are heavier than the Olympics. The Olympics has more media attention, but that's the only thing. It doesn't say anything about the level of how do you say it? How heavy the tournament is. So for me, the first thing was Olympics, World Champion, then Olympic, and then maybe European. But I never focused on the European. It was always one of the two first.
And 2004, I believe, was your first Olympics. How was that experience? Was it everything you expected it to be?
I was 23, so pretty young when I went there. And it was my first Olympics, and one of the things that happened was that my judogi got I wasn't allowed to judo in my own judo gi, so I got a judo gi from the federation, and that was a pretty big one. So my first match I lost because I couldn't normally judo as I wanted to judo, but I learned from that, and after that I really trained, because I was like, even if you have a bigger judo gi, you still need to make a good fight, and I didn't make a good fight at all. So I was very disappointed, and I went back to the drawing board and just trained and make good plans to become champion again.
So when you did that, going back to the drawing board, how many hours a week were you training? What would be a typical day in your training life as well?
Typical is 2 training sessions a day, 1 judo, and then the other one can be power training or running. And sometimes I had 3 sessions a day. I know Monday, Friday in that period was always 3 sessions, and the rest of the week 2, except Sunday. That was my day off. But and then I just stick to the program. But I went to the Olympics 2004 without a plan, without a game plan. And in the years after, I always went with the game plan to the big competitions.
What about nutrition in those days? What would you be eating when you were doing, say, 3 sessions a day?
Not much, because the judo is a weight sport, and you can't eat a lot of weight. Everybody says, but you can go down with the good food and everything, but you need to dehydrate to lose weight. I know on my competition days in 81, I had 5% of fat, and that's not. I was pretty dry, and I couldn't do that with a normal schedule or a normal diet. So I didn't eat a lot. Yeah.
Oh wow! So did you ever have a lot of trouble making weight?
Yeah, for sure. Always. When I was a junior, I had to lose a lot, and when I was senior, I had to lose 9 kilos for every tournament. So that was a lot, always. Yeah, but it was always it was also a part of my preparation. You get in focus, you get concentrated, the tension is coming up. So that was also one of the things I missed when I went to 90 kilos. I didn't have to lose weight. Yeah, then you have to get yourself motivated and in the right tension. Very different.
And you mentioned you went back to the drawing board and you put yourself a plan, and clearly that worked in 2005 when you went on to win the world title in Cairo. How was that experience for you?
Yeah, it was amazing. It was really amazing, because in 2004 I went to the Olympics, and I always got medals on tournaments, so I thought I was good enough to become champion. But when you are on a big championship like the Olympics, and then in 2003 I was also at the Worlds, and you see that the normal intention of training that you're doing is not enough. Yeah, then you have to make a lot of effort, and it's nice that it's a very big conversation. It's a very big mirror for yourself when you did all your best and you are not good enough. But then you can be satisfied with yourself. Only I didn't do my best enough on the training. So after 2004 Olympics, I really did my best, and then I became world champion, and that's a very big satisfaction.
How were you feeling on the day of the final?
The day of the final, almost like all the other tournaments. Only I had my game plan. I did all my training sessions, and I prepared myself mentally. And before every match, I prepared myself mentally good. I had a game plan against every opponent, and before I did it, but not as good as I did it there. So I was pretty relaxed, but fully focused. Yeah.
When you say prepare yourself mentally, did that involve any meditation? Did that involve doing any other activity to make you not think about judo? Did it involve meditation or anything like that?
I listen to music, and you can see music a little bit as meditation, because I'm closed off from the environment around me, so no distraction. and a lot of self-talk. So if visuals, making visuals of my opponent, what they are going to do, what my strategy is, what I have to do, and stay focused on that the whole time.
And does that also involve visualizing yourself with the medal?
No. It was just visualizing me and my opponent and how the game would walk, how it would look like.
And when you did get the victory and you did get the medal, was it a feeling of relief or sheer joy, or was it, I'm gonna keep working harder?
No. When I won the gold medal, I just took a very big breath and was only relief. Like finally I got a medal on a big tournament that I wanted, and for me that was the only thing that I wanted to do to get. And then it was very relaxed after that. But for me it was a very big relief. Like, okay, now I had a talent and I got everything out of the talent that I had.
The Best in the World podcast with Richard Parr.
More of the interview is coming up in just a moment, but I just want to tell you about the latest audiobook I've listened to. It's The Art of War by Sun Tzu, and I think you'll be pretty impressed who it was narrated by. It was Aidan Gillen. I think for those of you who are Game of Thrones fans, like me, fantastic show, probably one of the best TV shows on television right now. You will know him as Littlefinger or Peter Baelish. Quite the manipulative character in the show. And for those of you who like another fantastic TV show, The Wire, he was the mayor, Thomas Carcetti. I think the mayor of Baltimore in the end. Again, one of the great shows. If you haven't seen Game of Thrones and you haven't seen The Wire, what are you doing? Go and download it right now. He's clearly a very talented actor. He's been in other movies such as The Dark Knight Rises, 12 Rounds featuring John Cena. Have any of you seen that viral video of the radio DJ who plays pranks with this caller, this lady at home, that she was winning tickets to see wrestling with John Cena? If you haven't, try and download it. I'll try and put a link on my Twitter. That's really entertaining. But anyway, I'm coming off point right now. No more about John Cena or viral videos. I'm talking about listening to Sun Tzu, The Art of War, read by Aidan Gillen. Really good listen. It's very short, so you can tick off another audio book if you like to count how many books you can get through in a year, like I do my goal sitting. Listen to the last episode if you don't know what I'm talking about. But you know what? The kind people at Audible are kind enough to offer you a free audiobook download with a free 30-day trial to give you an opportunity to check out their service, all because you're a listener of The Best in the World with Richard Parr. Isn't that nice of them? And it's very easy what you have to do. All you've got to do to download your free audiobook today is go to audibletrial.com/best. I'll tell it to you one more time. That's audibletrial.com/best for your free audio book. Do that, well, I say today, but do it after you've listened to the rest of this great interview with former Judo world champion Guillaume Elmont.
The Best in the World podcast with Richard Parr.
Obviously, Judo is a very physical sport. What would be part of your recovery regime?
A part of my recovery, a lot of physio, but eating well. So I get the right building bricks in my body to build good muscles, and looking a lot of judo matches and visualizing the judo matches also, because that helps with keeping the muscles strong. If you imagine yourself judoing and putting imaginary tension on your body.
Wow, that's really interesting. What type of food would you be putting into your body?
In English, let me see, proteins. Yeah, proteins, a lot. Yeah,
so a lot of fish, a lot of meat.
Fish, fish. More fish than I normally eat, and heavy meat, like steaks and stuff.
Are you a good cook? Can you cook?
No, I can't cook at all, but there are a lot of people that cook for me, so there's no problem. No, I'm not a cook.
That's good. You make sure you have the right people around you.
Yeah.
So who was in your team? What type of people would you have in your team? A coach, obviously your brother. Who was around when you were in this period?
I just switched from coach. From 2004, I had Cor van de Geest. In the period before that, and after 2004, I had Maarten Arends as coach, and from that point I had always Maarten Arends as judo coach. But he was the judo coach for the international tournaments, and I had power trainer was Herman de Brot for 2 years then, and later I had to do it myself. And the conditioning too. That's why I became a performance coach later on. And for technical, I had my brother and Ronald Yours around me. And for food, I did before I had a food expert, but it wasn't possible to get my weight with the normal food diet schedule that I got. So I had to do it the old-fashioned way. No, I think that's everybody. Yeah.
And you mentioned going into performance coaching. I believe you've been working at Ajax as well.
Yeah. Before I worked at the Air Force as a psychologist because that's my background. But during my after 2006, 2004, I had to do my strength and conditioning. All by myself, so I got involved in that and got specialized in that, and later on I guided a few judo players and a few other athletes, and that's how I come to work at Ajax now with the juniors or the talented boys. Yeah.
So what type of things are you teaching them? Are they training them? What similarities in strength training for judo do they need also in football?
Similarities. Yeah, they do the basics because they cannot go. They're pretty young and they don't really have experience in power training like judo players have. So with the boys in soccer, it's more the basics, and I cannot go very deep with them like I go with judo players, with the schedules that they have and the circuit training and that kind of stuff. So it's pretty basic, and when they get older, you get more specific because it's another type of sport that has different qualities, and you have to give performance training on the qualities of the sport.
I know you mentioned about being a psychologist as well. When did you study that, and how long have you been doing that?
When did I study? I think I finished my study in 2004 or 2005. So I've been a psychologist for already 10 years. And the last few years I've specialized in sports psychology. So that's the aim that I have, to be sports psychologist too and performance trainer. And since this year I have my own business in sports psychology and performance in judo. It's called Elmont Solutions, and I'm guiding athletes, so mentally and physically.
Oh, fantastic. Obviously you said you were training to become a psychologist back in 2004, 2005. That was at a crucial point of your career. How were you able to juggle everything?
I keep asking myself the same question, but I was always used to having or study next to judo or work next to judo. So it was never judo alone for me. It was always in combination with study or work. And you need a lot of discipline. You need to schedule everything good, make a right plan, and have the discipline to execute it, or else it will all fall apart. And I was very disciplined to do everything, and I got a discipline from judo. I'm really happy for that too, and that's how I could do the study and the judo next to each other.
In a way, do you think that it helped you because it made you not think about judo 24/7? It actually gave your mind something to refresh and to concentrate on.
Yeah, for sure. It opens your mind also and gives you much how do you say, you get more relaxed, and everybody thinks you have to only do your sport and you don't need distraction, but do need distraction to get in the right concentration, or you probably get over concentrated again and think of things that won't happen, or very negative in a way. And when you have the distraction, then you can get in the right concentration mode for tournaments and stuff. So I really think you need something next to your sport to get the best focus in your sport.
Yeah, I noticed on your Instagram that one of the things you mentioned is you don't like surrounding yourself with negative people. Are you always a positive person?
Yeah. I'm very optimistic and and very positive, and that's also why I like to guide the youngsters. I want them to show them that they can do more than they think they can do. So it's always a challenge when you get a guy in and we start talking and they're like, no, I don't have this talent, or no, I cannot do this. And then in the end, I can show them that they really can do it. And that's when you see them grow. And that's what I really like about guiding the youngsters.
So how would you react to a defeat? Would you be depressed, or would you really look at that as, okay, this is another building block towards a future victory?
I would be depressed, of course, but I would go back on the drawing board and think about my game plan. What did I do wrong? What can I do better? How will this never work or happen again to me? So I always learned from my mistakes, and that are the things that you learn the most from the mistakes. So I always was like, I was angry, of course, but always in a learning mode.
And obviously you said you're so busy and you have so many things going on, but when you do get a time to relax, how do you like to unwind? What do you like to do for fun?
Now I'm older. I stopped the Judo, so I don't have to do all the hard trainings in the night. And I started doing Salsa, with Cuban salsa.
Wow.
But when in 2013, I fell on my neck during the Worlds. And the doctors told me, the next time you fall on your neck, it's either you're paralyzed or you're dead. And I wasn't allowed to do any sport. I wasn't allowed to do cardio, no running, no biking, no power training, no judo. Just sit and relax, they told me, for half a year. And then they would make an evaluation. But my physiotherapist was like, maybe you can do salsa. Just dance. And I was like, no, it's for old people because he's very old, and was laughing. But I was like, why not? Because I wasn't, I couldn't sit still the whole day at that moment. So I started doing salsa, and I still do it now for fun. And it's nice. It's really nice. And I'm really happy that I started with it. So that's really nice.
Only for fun? Is there not a bit of your competitive spirit thinking, I could take this further and maybe enter a competition or anything like that?
No, I'm not. No. My competition days are over. No more competitions for me. The only thing that I would like to do is maybe the open category Dutch championships. That would be fun to do. Then I can fight the heavy guys. But no, for me, no competitions anymore, and I just enjoy life. It's nice. I was I went to 3 Olympics, and before that, in the juniors, I always was first in my team. So I had almost 20 years of experience on the highest level in judo, in every age category. So for me, it's a long time. Yeah.
So now you have retired from judo. Is there one person, either in sport or elsewhere in psychology, business, or wherever, if there's one person you could spend a day with, who would that be?
One person I could spend a day with. I really don't know. It's a difficult question. I know. No. I don't know. No.
Well, then, who was your? Did you ever look up to anyone as a competitor? Is there anyone you looked up to?
When I was very young, and start looking at the world championships and the Olympics. My idol, I think everybody's idol, was Koga from Japan. He was my number one idol for a few years. Yeah.
What was it about him?
His technique. His technique was phenomenal. He had shoulder technique where everybody knew what was coming. You only didn't know when, and you didn't know how high they would fly. So it was really amazing to see him judo and win everything. Yeah.
Well, Guillaume, this has been a fantastic chat. Just before we go, if you could just tell our listeners how they can follow you on social media, or on Instagram, Twitter, and how they could also get in touch with you if they want to get involved with sports psychology. Perhaps mention how they can reach out to your business that you mentioned earlier.
My site is still under construction, but when it's online, it's called elmontsolutions.nl. And Elmont is my last name, and the solution is very easy. And you can find me on Instagram and Facebook, not on Twitter, but under my own name, Guillaume Elmont. And then you'll probably find on Facebook the athlete page and my own page, and on Instagram you will find my it's Elmont and then Guillaume _Elmont on Instagram, and then you will find me there. And it's always nice to help people with their sport or performance, judo or mentally, so they can always find me on my page, elmontsolution.com.nl. Sorry.
Well, this has been a fascinating chat with you, Guillaume, and we really appreciate your time. Guillaume Elmont, thank you for being the best in the world.
Yes, thank you very much.
The Best in the World podcast with Richard Parr.
Another amazing insight from a former world champion on The Best in the World. Our first judo superstar on the show. And what I really like about this podcast is we get the insights from all different parts of the world of sport. We've had cliff divers, we've had MMA champions, we've had sailing world match racing tour champions, swimmers, footballers, rugby players, cyclists, hockey players, all different types, and all giving a different perspective. There's a few different themes which sometimes are very similar, so it's different things that we can learn from these superstars, and perhaps it can help you in your everyday life or in your sporting ambitions. And if you really enjoy the show, please go on to iTunes, as well as downloading it, subscribe to the show so you never miss a show. And if you get a moment, I would really, really love it if you would give it a rating and a review. It really helps boost the profile of the podcast, and with the increased profile obviously means we can get more great guests for you to listen to. It's all about helping each other on The Best in the World, and I think we've done that. We've got another great interview coming up next Wednesday. Thanks to Guillaume Elmont. Thanks to you, the listener, for listening. Have a fantastic week.
The Best in the World podcast with Richard Parr.